here this morning on charges of assault and disorderly conduct, which are misdemeanor domestic violence offenses.
Yes, Your Honor.
El señor Torres Lagarde está aquí para su comparecencia inicial. Tiene cargos de agresión, de alteración al orden público, que son delitos menores, y delitos de violencia doméstica.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
Tiene derecho a permanecer en silencio. Cualquier cosa que diga puede ser utilizada en su contra.
We are going to discuss your conditions of release today.
Hoy vamos a hablar de sus condiciones de liberación.
And I have reviewed information from pretrial services, which lets me know a little bit about your history, whether there are any other relevant cases. It also contains their assessments and recommendations, as well as any information you were able to provide regarding your ties to the community.
Bueno, y yo tuve la oportunidad de revisar la información de los servicios previos al juicio. En esa información me indican un poco sobre sus antecedentes, sobre casos relevantes, sobre la evaluación que les realizaron y las recomendaciones que ellos realizan, también su información con respecto a los vínculos que tiene con la comunidad.
I am going to order this morning that you're held on a bond of $500, cash or secured.
Y voy a ordenar el día de hoy que sea retenido con una fianza de $500 en efectivo o con garantía.
If you are able to post your bond and be released, the additional conditions of your release are to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, commit no acts of domestic violence, and have no contact with your brother, Ernesto Torres.
Y si usted paga la fianza y es liberado, hay unas condiciones adicionales, que es que tiene prohibido poseer o consumir alcohol o drogas ilegales, tiene prohibido realizar otros actos de violencia doméstica y tiene prohibido tener un contacto con su hermano Ernesto Torres.
You may not return to his residence or workplace.
No puede regresar al lugar de residencia de él ni al lugar de trabajo de él.
Except that you may return one time with a police escort to obtain your personal belongings.
Solamente puede regresar una sola vez acompañado de un policía para obtener sus pertenencias personales.
You'll take my order to the closest police station to the residence, and they will escort you there to obtain your belongings.
Usted va a llevar mi orden al lugar más cercano de la estación de policía donde está su residencia, y un policía lo va a acompañar, a escoltar para ir a recoger, tomar sus pertenencias.
If you remain in custody, your next court date will be November 7th at 1:45 for a video review.
Y si permanece bajo custodia, su próxima fecha de corte va a ser el 7 de noviembre a la 1:45 para una revisión por video.
And if you have posted bond and been released, they will vacate that court date, and your next court date will be December 19th at 9 a.m.
Y si usted paga la fianza y es liberado, entonces se va a cancelar esa fecha de corte y su próxima fecha de corte sería el 19 de diciembre a las 9 de la mañana.
I am appointing the City of Tucson Public Defender to represent you.
Yo le estoy nombrando el defensor público de la ciudad de Tucson para que lo represente.
If you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest.
Si usted no se presenta a la corte, se puede emitir una orden de arresto en su contra.
The hearings can also go forward without you, including your trial.
Y las audiencias se pueden realizar sin su presencia, incluido el juicio.
And if you are found guilty and then fail to appear for your sentencing hearing for 90 days, you can lose your right to a direct appeal.
Y si usted se le halla culpable y no se le puede imponer la pena porque usted no se presenta en los siguientes 90 días, usted pierde su derecho a una apelación directa.
Do you understand the consequences of failing to appear for court?
Yes,
¿Y usted comprende las consecuencias de no presentarse a corte? Yes, Your Honor.
And I will enter pleas of not guilty on your behalf. You are presumed to be innocent, and that's all for today.
Y voy a sentar declaración de no culpable por usted, se le presume inocente. Eso es todo por hoy.
Did you have something you wanted to say, sir?
Yes, Your Honor, will you please reconsider the $500 bond and release me? I have a doctor's appointment with my PCP today. He's a chronic gaslighter, Your Honor. He's done it hundreds of times since 15 years old. I'm schizophrenic. Many mental illnesses don't even get benefits out of my poor dad. Can
I just have a moment really quick?
Absolutely.
Can't afford one, neither can my dad. I'm innocent, Your Honor, totally. Can you please release me on my own recognizance so I can go see my PCP today? I have a serious infection on all my hands. See? All that. I'll have an appointment today at 9:40. I'm in Compass Court, CMPS Court, with Yvette Ortega, my counsel. I have to report to her today. I'm honestly gonna do the right thing, Your Honor. I was already facing recovery. I get methadone. My counselor challenged me to 7 days only without a stimulant. I could do that one day at a time, Your Honor. I just want to do the right thing.
I'm sorry, Mr. Torres, I'm not going to change my order. I do see that this is at least the third time that you have had domestic violence charges involving the same victim. So I am going to maintain my order, but I wish you the best of luck. That's all for
Y
today.
lamento, señor Torres, pero no voy a cambiar mi orden. Veo que esta es la tercera vez que ha cometido violencia doméstica con la misma víctima, entonces voy a sostener la orden y es todo por hoy.
Your Honor, is he excused?
Your Honor, would it be okay to confirm with jail if he was the only Spanish speaker that needed an interpreter?
Yeah. Can someone from the jail confirm that no one else requires the services of the Spanish interpreter?
Correct, Your Honor. We are showing no one that need the interpretation.
Thank you. The interpreter is excused.
Thank you, Your Honor. Interpreter will now disconnect.
Please state your name.
Bryce Groen.
Mr. Groen, this is the time for your initial appearance. You're here this morning on misdemeanor charges of criminal damage to property and disorderly conduct. Those are both domestic violence offenses. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire an attorney of your choice, and under certain circumstances, an attorney may be appointed on your behalf. We are going to discuss your conditions of release today. I have reviewed the probable cause statement from the arresting agency, as well as information provided about you by pretrial services. Sir, if I were to order that you were released on your promise to appear for court, would you appear for your future court date?
Yes.
All right, and then the alleged victim, Ms. Groen, indicated that at this time she does not wish for you to return to the residence. If I were to order that you could not return to that residence, would you abide by that order?
I mean, I guess I have to, but I don't have anywhere else to go.
They're at the transition center right outside the jail. I think there's a blue line in the ground that you can follow to get there, and they may be able to assist you with some resources about where else you can go.
Okay.
So I will order that you are released on your promise to appear for court. No alcohol or illegal drugs. You may not commit any acts of domestic violence. You may return to the residence one time with a police escort to obtain your belongings. You'll take my court order to the closest police station to the residence, and they will escort you there to obtain your belongings. Now, Ms. Groen may decide that you are welcome to return at some point in the future, but it requires an order of the court for you to be allowed to return there. Just because she says so, that would not negate the court order until another judge orders that it's okay. Do you understand, Mr. Groen? All right.
Yes.
And then if you fail to appear for court, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Your next court date is November 7th at 10:30 a.m. That's at Pima County Justice Court for a domestic violence arraignment with Judge Pesquiera.
Okay.
All right. That's all for today.
Thank you.
Please state your name.
Sierra Thomas.
Ms. Thomas, this is the time for your initial appearance. You are here this morning on charges of failure to comply with a court order or interfering with judicial proceedings. That is a misdemeanor domestic violence offense. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney, and it is ordered appointing Peter Gutierrez to represent you. We are going to discuss your conditions of release today, and I have reviewed the probable cause statement from the arresting agency. I have also reviewed information provided about you by pretrial services, which lets me know whether you have any other relevant criminal matters pending or orders of protection, and what their assessments and recommendations are, as well as any information you were able to provide regarding your ties to the community or any references. I am going to order today that you are held on a bond of $500, cash or secured. If you are able to post your bond and be released, the additional conditions of your release are no alcohol or illegal drugs, no acts of domestic violence, no contact with the alleged victim, do not return to the incident location or the victim's residence or workplace. And your next court date will be tomorrow at 1 p.m. with Judge Cornejo for a domestic violence arraignment. That's at Pima County Justice Court. If you are still in custody, the jail will make you available. And if you have been released, it'll be your responsibility to appear tomorrow at 1 p.m. If you fail to appear, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Thank you. That's all for today.
Leon?
I'm
Good morning. Please state your name.
Gabriel Leon.
Mr. Leon, you were here this morning on a warrant that issued based on your failure to appear for a probation revocation hearing. This was on charges of threats or intimidation, criminal damage, disorderly conduct, and then another case with account of criminal damage and account of disorderly conduct. The petition to revoke your probation alleges that you have failed to provide proof of domestic violence counseling. You have the right to remain silent on the petition to revoke probation. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney, and I am appointing the City of Tucson Public Defender to represent you. And we are going to set your conditions of release this morning. I have reviewed your files and the petition to revoke. I'm going to order that you're held on a bond of $500, cash or secured. If you are able to post bond and you are released, the additional orders are not to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, to commit no acts of domestic violence, and abide by the conditions of your probation. Your next court date, if you remain in custody, will be a video review on November 7th at 1:45. And if you post your bond and are released, they will actually vacate that court date, and your next court date will be November 18th at 2 p.m. for a probation violation hearing. Either way, that's at Tucson City Court with Judge Verena. If you fail to appear, a warrant can issue for your arrest. The hearings can go forward without you, including your evidentiary hearing on the probation violation. And if you are found guilty of violating your probation and fail to appear for sentencing or disposition, you can lose your right to a direct appeal. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I will enter a denial to the petition to revoke probation on your behalf, and that's all for today.
Excuse me. Moreno, sir.
Your Honor, sound check. I had to reset up in the building across the street. Do you have me?
Yes, much better than on your phone.
Thank you.
Please state your name, sir.
Alexander Moreno.
Mr. Moreno, this is the time for your initial appearance. You are here this morning on new misdemeanor charges out of Tucson City Court, including, let's see, 5 counts of criminal trespass, 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, and 1 count of unlawful possession of of a prescription drug, and then there were also warrants issued after your failure to appear on charges of obstructing government operations, possession of drug paraphernalia, and shoplifting. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire an attorney of your choice, and in certain circumstances, an attorney may be appointed on your behalf. We are going to discuss your conditions of release this morning, and these cases are relatively new. If I were to order that you were released on your promise to appear for court, would you appear for your future court dates, Mr. Moreno?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good. I am going to give you a chance to appear, so I will release you on your promise to appear. The additional conditions of your release are that you may not possess or consume alcohol or illegal substances. You may not have any contact with the alleged victims of the criminal trespass and shoplifting charges. You may not return to those incident locations. And your next court date will be on November 26th. That's at 2 p.m. with Judge Cranshaw at Tucson City Court. If you fail to appear, a warrant can issue for your arrest. The hearings can also go forward without you, including your trial. And if you are found guilty and then fail to appear for sentencing for 90 days, you can lose your right to a direct appeal. Do you understand the consequences of failing to appear for court, Mr. Moreno?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, can I just interrupt for just a second? The jail wanted me to notify you that he does have a hold out of Pinal County.
I should have looked at that. I did not look at my calendar, and there is a hold. So that's going to change your court date. I'm still going to release you on these Tucson City Court matters, but you're going to have a different court date. It's going to be December 12th at 9 a.m. Yes. Sorry, the clerk is informing me it should be December 19th. So your court date will be December 19th. It's still at 9 a.m. At 9 a.m., that is for a non-transport review or a pretrial conference. And I will also appoint the City of Tucson Public Defender to represent you. I will enter pleas if not guilty to the new charges. You are presumed to be innocent. And you did say that you understood the consequences of failing to appear?
Yes, Your Honor.
Great. That's all for today. Thank you. No, it's all good. Thank you. Good morning. State your name.
Diana Robles.
Ms. Robles, this is the time for your initial appearance. You're here this morning on 2 counts of interfering with a judicial order. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire an attorney of your choice, and under certain circumstances, an attorney may be appointed on your behalf. We are going to discuss your conditions of release. I have read the officer's narrative from the arresting agency, and I have viewed pretrial services information about you, which lets me know a little bit about your history, including any information you were able to provide regarding your ties to the community, as well as any relevant cases and their assessments and recommendations. Ms. Robles, if I were to order that you were released on your promise to appear for court, would you appear for your future court dates?
Yes, ma'am.
And if I were to further order that you could not have contact of any kind with Jose Olalde, you may not go to his residence or workplace or the incident location, would you abide by that order?
Yes, ma'am.
So I will order that you are released on your promise to appear. As conditions of your release, you may not possess or consume alcohol or illegal substances. You may not commit any acts of domestic violence, no contact with Mr. Olalde, do not go to his residence, workplace, or the incident location. Your next court date is scheduled for December 2nd at 1:30 in the afternoon. That's at Tucson City Court with Judge Millian. If you fail to appear, a warrant can issue for your arrest. The hearings can go forward without you, including your trial. And if you are found guilty and then fail to appear for sentencing for 90 days, you can lose your right to a direct appeal. Do you understand the consequences of failing to appear for court, Ms. Robles?
Yes.
Thanks, that's all for today.
It is. Order. And
Good morning, please state your name.
Order.
Mr. Carter, you are here this morning for your initial appearance on warrants that issued out of Tucson City Court on charges of possession of drug paraphernalia. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 counts of that. 2 counts of solicitation. No, 3 counts of that. And 1 count of criminal trespass. You have the right to remain silent on all of these cases. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney, and it is ordered appointing the public defender's office to represent you from the city of Tucson. We are going to discuss your conditions of release. I am going to order that you're held on a bond of $500, cash or secured. If you post your bond and are released, the additional condition of your release will be to possess or consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, have no contact of any kind with the alleged victims of the criminal trespass charges, do not return to those incident locations. And your next court date will be a video review on November 6th at 1:45. If you have been released before then, it'll be the same day and time, and it will be a pretrial conference. Either way, it's with Judge Blue at Tucson City Court, and if you fail to appear, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Do you understand, Mr. Carter?
Yes.
All right, thank you. That's all for today.
Hello.
Good morning. Please state your
I'm
name.
hoping I get released. I just got released from jail in CRC yesterday.
Okay, what's your name?
Julie is misdemeanors.
Okay, Julie Pass?
Yes.
All right.
11478.
All right, so you are here today on charges of assault and criminal trespass. Those are both misdemeanor offenses out of the city of South Tucson. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to hire an attorney of your choice, and in certain circumstances, an attorney may be appointed on your behalf. We are going to discuss your conditions of release, and all I've really been able to review is the traffic ticket and complaint containing the officer's narrative. Ma'am, if I were to order that you were released on your promise to appear for court in South Tucson City Court, would you appear for your next court date?
Yes, I would. And I'm also really kind of nervous because they have Wingstop, and a police here kept Wingstop open, and I told Wingstop to close, and they kept it open, and that building closed, but they incognito kept it open on the side, you know.
Okay. So I
You're
am
gonna see what I mean. All right.
going to
Sorry.
order that you're released on your promise to appear.
All right.
The additional orders are that you may not possess or consume alcohol or illegal drugs. You may not have any contact with the alleged victim in this case, and you may not return to the incident location.
Mhm.
Your next court date is going to be on November 25th at 10 a.m. That's at South Tucson City Court, and if you fail to appear, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Do you understand, Ms. Papp?
Yes.
All right, that's all for today.
What time do you think I'll be released?
It usually takes 3 or 4 hours, I think.
All right. Thank you. Can I sit out here so I can watch the videos? Why is that?
So here's an
All right.
example. So here's Tucson. Because you got a big stack of files with a rubber band around them. Yep.
Yeah. Get the number for sitting back there.
Good morning. Please state your name.
Hey, Fish.
Mr. Bish, this is the time for your initial appearance on a couple of different matters. You have new felony charges of organized retail theft, possession of a narcotic drug, and possession of drug paraphernalia. And then you also have some matters out of Tucson City Court on misdemeanors, which include a petition to revoke your probation on charges of disorderly conduct, shoplifting, and possession of drug paraphernalia. And then you also have other charges out of Tucson City Court that I think are pretrial for criminal trespass, disorderly conduct, drug paraphernalia, and shoplifting. You have the right to remain silent on all of these matters. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney in the felony matters, and I am appointing the Public Defender's Office to represent you. I am also going to appoint the Tucson City Public Defender to represent you in your misdemeanor matters. And we are going to discuss your conditions of release today. I have reviewed the interim complaint on the felony. I have also reviewed information provided by pretrial services, which lets me know whether you have any prior felony convictions or not. It lets me know what information you were able to provide regarding your ties to the community or any references, as well as their assessments and recommendations. And I've reviewed the state's recommendation that you be held on a bond of $5,000 in this case. Would the state like to be heard further regarding the felony?
Yes, Your Honor. This is largely given the defendant's history and the fact that we're looking at multiple post-adjudicated warrants. The state believes he's a flight risk and a risk to reoffend.
Thank you. I think I forgot to read the petition to revoke probation. The petition to revoke probation in the Tucson City Court alleges that you have violated your probation by committing new crimes. Great. I think I'm going to start with the city court matters, and then I will turn to defense on the felony. So on the city court matters, I am going to order a bond of $500 cash or secured, no alcohol or illegal substances, and abide by conditions of probation if released. Your next court date for the city court matters will be a probation revocation and pretrial conference or a video review. The video review will be scheduled for November 7th at 1:45. That is with Judge Hale at Tucson City Court. If you have been released before then they will vacate that court date, and instead your court date will be November 14th at 9:30 a.m. And if you fail to appear, a warrant can issue for your arrest. And the hearings can go forward without you. And then would the defense like to be heard on the felony?
Yes, Your Honor. So Mr. Bish is, has, as far as I can see, he's 46 years old and doesn't have felony criminal history. He's been in Tucson for 10 years. I understand the court's issued a bond for $500 in the city court, so I would ask Typically I'd ask for a release on this, but because of that, I will ask for a nominal bond for Mr. Bish.
Thank you. So in this matter, I will order a bond of $500, cash or secured. If you're released, you'll be released to pretrial services on the felony charges. You'll be required to submit to monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial services. No alcohol or illegal drugs, no contact with the alleged victim, and do not return to the incident location. And your next court date will be set as a preliminary hearing. That's on November 17th at 1:30. And if you fail to appear, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Do you understand, Mr. Bish?
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. That's all for today. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Thank you for fixing that.
Well, yeah. Yeah. And
Please state your name.
Charles Boyette Jr.
Thank you, Mr. Boyette. This is the time for your initial appearance. You are here today on charges of possession of a dangerous drug and possession of drug paraphernalia. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney, and it is ordered appointing the public defender's office to represent you. We are going to talk about your conditions of release. It looks like you may be eligible for a pre-indictment diversion program known as STEPS. That program connects you with a substance abuse treatment provider, and if you successfully complete the requirements of the diversion program, it is possible that the state will not go forward with these felony convictions against you. Sorry, felony charges against you. Are you
Okay.
interested in that program?
Yeah, absolutely.
I will set a hearing in your case for November 4th at 9 a.m. The purpose of that hearing is to determine if you are eligible for the STEPS program and if you would like to join it once you have learned more about it.
Okay.
You'll have the opportunity to speak with service providers and an attorney about it. I will release you to pretrial services. The additional conditions of your release are that you must submit to monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial services. You may not possess or consume alcohol or illegal drugs, and you may not possess firearms or weapons. Your next court date will be scheduled as a preliminary hearing after the STEPS hearing. Usually we set that for, usually we must set that within 20 days. However, to give time for you to potentially join the STEPS program, would you like to waive that to 45 days?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So I will set your preliminary hearing for December 12th at 1:30. If that hearing goes forward and you fail to appear, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Do you understand, Mr. Boyette? Great, thank you. That's all for today.
Okay.
Burns.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good morning, please state your name.
Nova Burns.
Mr. Burns, this is the time for your initial appearance. You're here this morning on charges of theft of a means of transportation that is a felony offense. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney, and it is ordered appointing the public defender's office to represent you. We are going to discuss your conditions of release. I have reviewed the interim complaint describing the circumstances surrounding your arrest. I have also reviewed the Pima County Attorney's recommendation that you be held on a bond of $5,000. And I have reviewed information from pretrial services, which lets me know whether or not you have any prior felony convictions. It also lets me know what information you were able to provide regarding your ties to the community and any references, as well as pretrial services assessments and recommendations. Would the state like to be heard further on its recommendation?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, and defense.
Yes, Your Honor, I think release is appropriate in this case. Mr. Burns is employed. He has strong ties to the community. He's a lifelong resident of Tucson. He has no prior felony criminal history, so it doesn't seem that there's any reason to believe he's a danger to the community, and so we would ask for him to be released.
Thank you. Mr. Burns, I am going to give you an opportunity on pretrial services release. You will be required to submit to any monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial services. You may not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and you may not possess any firearms or weapons while this case is pending. No contact with the alleged victim. Do not return to the incident location. And your next court date will be set as a preliminary hearing on November 17th at 1:30. If you fail to appear, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Do you understand, Mr. Burns?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. That's all for today.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning. Please state your name.
Ibrahim.
Ms. Hajibrahim, this is the time for your initial appearance on a couple of different matters. You have new felony charges of possession of drug paraphernalia, and then you also have a petition to revoke your probation in your Tucson City Court driving under the influence case. The petition to revoke probation alleges that you failed to submit proof of drug evaluation and treatment and of MAD VIP. You have the right to remain silent on both matters. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney in the felony matter. And under certain circumstances, you may have the right to be represented by an attorney in the misdemeanor. You always have the right to hire an attorney of your choice. We are going to discuss your conditions of release. And I have reviewed the petition to revoke. I have also reviewed the interim complaint in the new felony charge, as well as the state's recommendation that you be held on a bond of $2,500 in that charge. And I have also reviewed information provided by pretrial services, which lets me know whether you have any prior felony convictions and what information you were able to provide regarding your ties to the community or any references. And it also indicates that there is probation hold on your Pima County Superior Court cases. So regardless of what I issued in this case, you would not be released until that matter was resolved. Would the state like to be heard further on its recommendation?
No, Your Honor, the $2,500 is appropriate given all the circumstances.
Thank you. And defense.
Yes, Your Honor. Typically I would probably request a release in this case, but since she's being held on that probation violation, then I'm going to ask for a nominal bond of anywhere from, around $250. She's a lifelong resident of Tucson. The charges present in front of the court are not anything violent against somebody else, and it doesn't seem that any of her criminal history has any violent offenses. So we would ask for a nominal bond on this matter of $250.
Thank you. All right, so on the felony matter, I am going to order a bond of $500, cash or secured. If you are released, you'll be released to pretrial services. You'll be required to submit to monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial services. And no alcohol or illegal drugs, no firearms or weapons. You may also be eligible for a pre-indictment diversion program known as STEPS. That's a program that connects you with a substance abuse treatment provider, and if you successfully complete the requirements of that program, it is possible that the state would not go forward with these felony drug charges. Are you interested in that program, ma'am?
Oh, yeah.
Great. So I will set a hearing on November 4th at 9 a.m. to determine if you are eligible for that program and if you decide to join, if so, based on the information you learn about it. That's on November 4th at 9 a.m. I believe you only get one chance to show up for that. And then I will also set your preliminary hearing for November 7th at 1:30 in the afternoon. If you fail to appear for that hearing, a warrant can issue for your arrest. And then we will turn to your Tucson City Court petition to revoke. And in that case, I will order a bond of $250, cash or secured, no alcohol or illegal drugs, and abide by your conditions of release, or sorry, your probation conditions. I will appoint the City of Tucson Public Defender to represent you. And your next court date will be November 7th at 1:45 if you remain in custody. If you have been released before then, they will actually vacate that court date, and your next court date will be November 18th at 9:30 in the morning for Tucson City Court. Either way, that's with Judge Bond, and if you fail to appear, a warrant can issue for your arrest, and the probation revocation hearings can also go forward without you. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, thanks. That's all for today. Good morning. Please state your name. Sir? Is what?
Hey, ma'am, I'm Alexander Herrera.
Thank you, Mr. Herrera. This is the time for your initial appearance. You are here this morning on charges of theft of means of transportation. That is a felony offense. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney, and it is ordered appointing the public defender's office to represent you. We are going to discuss your conditions of release today, and I have reviewed the interim complaint, which describes the circumstances surrounding your arrest on these charges. I have reviewed the Pima County Attorney's recommendation that you be held on a bond of $3,500, and I have also reviewed information from pretrial services. That lets me know whether you have any prior felony convictions. It also lets me know what information you were able to provide regarding your ties to the community, and if they were able to speak with any references. It also contains their assessments and their recommendations. Would the state like to be heard further regarding its recommendation?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, and defense.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Herrera is a lifelong resident of Tucson. He doesn't have any violent offenses. The previous felonies he was convicted of, the most recent one is more than 5 years ago. So for all of those reasons, I think he has strong ties to the community and, certainly isn't a danger to the community if released. So I would ask that he be released.
Martin, pretrial services is also showing a Sarita case, but we don't have that. All right. Okay. Thank you. All right. I am going to order that you're held on a bond of $500 cash or secured. If you are released, you'll be released to pretrial services. You'll be required to submit to monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial services. You may not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. You may not possess any firearms or weapons. No contact with the alleged victim. Do not return to the incident location. And your next court date will be a preliminary hearing on November 7th at 1:30. If you fail to appear for that hearing, a warrant can issue for your arrest. You understand, Mr. Herrera?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. That's all for today.
What is it? Your Honor, I believe there's another felony charge in there.
I think it wasn't booked in time for us to have a hearing on it this morning. I don't have, so I think he'll be seen on that tonight.
Okay, thank you. Okay. All day.
morning. Please state your name.
Morning. Jose Nicolás Olalde III.
Mr. Olalde, this is the time for your initial appearance. You're here this morning on charges of possession of a narcotic drug. That is a felony offense. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney, and it is ordered appointing the public defender's office to represent you. We are going to discuss your conditions of release. I have reviewed the interim complaint, which describes the circumstances surrounding your arrest. I have also reviewed the Pima County Attorney's recommendation that you be held on a bond of $2,500. And I have also reviewed information from pretrial services, which lets me know whether you have any prior felony convictions. It also lets me know what information you were able to provide regarding your ties to the community and any references. It contains their assessments and recommendations, and it looks like you may be eligible for the STEPS pre-indictment diversion program. That is a program that connects you with a substance abuse treatment provider, and if you successfully complete the requirements of that program, it is possible that the state will not go forward with these felony drug charges. Are you interested in that program, Mr. Olalde?
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to set your case for a hearing on November 4th at 9 a.m. To determine if you are eligible for that program. I believe you only get one chance to show up for that, so it's important to appear. And you'll have the opportunity to decide if you'd like to join that program after learning more about it. Mr. Poston, did I already ask you if you'd like to be heard further?
Your Honor, on this matter, the state submits on the written record.
Thank you. And defense.
Your Honor, if I could just have a few more moments, please.
Yes, you may.
Okay, Your Honor, I apologize for that delay. So it looks to me that he was not able to do an interview with pretrial. So we don't have the opportunity to see what his community ties are. I know we're about halfway through this hearing, but I'm hoping we may be able to continue this until 6 p.m. or the evening time so that he can do that interview and we have more information.
Okay, I'm willing to continue to the evening. So I will order that your hearing is continued to the 7 p.m. initial appearance session so that you may participate in an interview with pretrial services. I will vacate my order setting a STEPS hearing for now, and that can be addressed again at 7 p.m.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, that's all for today, or for this morning anyway.
So if I don't do none of this, I'm gonna stay here till November 9th in jail.
Is that a question for me or for your?
Yeah, no, for you.
No.
Answer the question. Okay, I'll go ahead and answer the question. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
I'm a person.
Please state your name.
Ronald Perriton.
Mr. Perriton, this is the time for your initial appearance. You're here this morning on charges of criminal damage. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. This is a felony offense. You have the right to you have the right to be represented by an attorney, and it is ordered appointing the public defender's office to represent you. We are going to discuss your conditions of release today. I have reviewed the interim complaint describing the circumstances surrounding your arrest, and I have also reviewed the county attorney's recommendation that you be held on a bond of $1,500. Finally, I have reviewed pretrial services information, which lets me know whether you have any relevant criminal history, what information you were able to provide regarding your ties to the community, or any references. And it also contains their assessments and recommendations. Would the state like to be heard further on its recommendation?
No, Judge.
And defense.
Yes, Your Honor. So Mr. Perriton's been a Tucson resident for 26 years. He has no felony criminal convictions, and the pretrial services has him as a level 1 nonviolent offender. So for all these reasons, I think, we think it's likely that he will show back up and to court and would ask for release.
Great. Mr. Perriton, I am going to give you a chance on pretrial services release. You may not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. You may not drive without a valid driver's license. If it is impacted, no firearms or weapons, and monitoring or treatment is directed by pretrial services. No contact with the alleged victim. Do not return to the incident location. And your next court date will be November 17th at 1:30 for a preliminary hearing. If you fail to appear, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, I do.
Good morning. Please state your name.
Good morning, Austin Strofer.
Mr. Strumper, this is the time for your initial appearance. You're here this morning on charges of aggravated domestic violence and aggravated assault, impeding airway, which is a domestic violence offense. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney, and it is ordered appointing the public defender's office to represent you. We are going to discuss your conditions of release, and I have reviewed the interim complaint, which describes the circumstances surrounding your arrest. I have also reviewed the state's recommendation that you be held on a bond of $25,000, and I've reviewed information from pretrial services that lets me know whether you have any prior felony convictions or relevant misdemeanor convictions. It also lets me know what information you've provided regarding your ties to the community and any references, as well as their assessments and recommendations. Would the state like to be heard further regarding its recommendation?
No, Your Honor. Actually, in this one, Your Honor, the state is very concerned considering the allegations of strangling / impeded airway, 25,000.
Thank you, and defense.
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. Strumpfer is a lifelong Tucsonan, and he also has a full-time job here in Tucson. He's a construction worker, which was verified through PTS, and so we would ask, a $10,000 bond. We believe that that's the least onerous, but also enough to, make sure that he's attending any future court dates. So we would request a bond of $10,000.
I am going to order the bond of $25,000, cash or secured. If you are released, you'll be released to pretrial services. You'll be required to submit to monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial services. No alcohol or illegal drugs, no firearms or weapons. You may not commit any acts of domestic violence. The alleged victim actually said she was fine with having contact with you, but I'm ordering no contact with the alleged victim. That starts immediately. You may not go to her residence or her workplace. And your next court date will be November 7th at 1:30. If you fail to appear, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Do you understand, Mr. Strumpfer?
Yes, ma'am.
That's all for today.
Ricardo Vasquez.
Please state your name.
Ricardo Vasquez Jr.
Mr. Vasquez, this is the time for your initial appearance. You're here this morning on felony charges of fraudulent schemes and artifices and theft. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney, and it is ordered appointing the public defender's office to represent you. We are going to discuss your conditions of release, and I have reviewed the interim complaint, which describes the circumstances surrounding your arrest. I have also reviewed information provided by pretrial services that lets me know what your felony convictions are, if you have any, and it also lets me know what information you were able to provide regarding your ties to the community and any references. It also contains their assessments and recommendations. Would the state like to be heard further regarding its recommendation that the defendant be held on a bond of $25,000?
Your Honor, this person has an abjectly epic history of fraud, schemes, and whatnot. And what we're seeing here is the state, pretrial placed him at 5 and a 4, and also a huge history of failing to appear. Your Honor, this person doesn't seem to want to stop committing fraudulent schemes. 25,000.
Thank you, and defense.
Your Honor, if I could just have a moment.
Thank you.
Your Honor, for the moment. So Mr. Vasquez has a full-time job as a landscaper that he would like to get back to as soon as possible. Pretrial services has him as this is a nonviolent felony. This is a level 2. And we would ask, Mr. Vasquez would like to be released to pretrial services. He tells me that he's had previous success with pretrial services. In the alternative, we would ask for a lower bond of $5,000.
Thank you. I am going to order a bond of $10,000 cash or secured. If you are released, you will be released to pretrial services. Monitoring or treatment is directed by pretrial services. No alcohol or illegal drugs, no firearms or weapons, no contact with the alleged victim, and do not return to the incident location. Your next court date is set as a preliminary hearing. That will be on November 7th at 1:30. If you fail to appear, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Do you understand, Mr. Vasquez?
Okay, yeah. Yes.
Thank you. That's all for today.
See.
Please state your name.
Andre Reyzino Jr.
Mr. Zeno, this is the time for your initial appearance. You are here on a couple of different matters. You have felony charges of possession of a dangerous drug and possession of drug paraphernalia. You also have misdemeanor charges out of Tucson City Court that were in failure to appear status. Warrants had been issued for your arrest, and those are 2 counts of criminal trespass. You have the right to remain silent on all of these matters. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney in the felony matters, and I am appointing the public defender's office to represent you. In the misdemeanor matters, you always have the right to hire an attorney of your choice, and under certain circumstances, an attorney may be appointed on your behalf. We are going to discuss your conditions of release in both matters, and I have reviewed the interim complaint describing the circumstances surrounding your arrest. I have also reviewed the Pima County Attorney's recommendation that you be released to pretrial services, as well as pretrial services information about you. It looks like you may be eligible for the STEPS Pre-Indictment Diversion Program. That is a program that connects you with a substance abuse treatment provider, and if you successfully complete the requirements of that program, it is possible that the state will not go forward with these felony charges against you. Are you interested in that program, Mr. Zeno?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. So I'm going to set your case for a hearing on November 4th at 9 a.m. That is to determine if you are eligible for the STEPS program, and if so, whether you would like to join after learning more about it. I am going to order that you are released to pretrial services. You must submit to monitoring or treatment as directed by pretrial services. No alcohol or illegal drugs, no firearms or weapons. And then I also need to set your preliminary hearing. Usually that has to occur within 20 days. However, to give time for you to potentially join the STEPS program, would you like to waive that out to 45 days?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'll set your preliminary hearing on December 12th at 1:30. If that hearing goes forward and you fail to appear, a warrant can issue for your arrest. And then on your city court case, I am going to order that you are released on your promise to appear for court. The additional conditions of your release are no alcohol or illegal drugs, no contact with the alleged victim of the criminal trespass, do not return to the incident location. I will consolidate with your other city court case and vacate the December 2nd hearing that is scheduled in that case. And instead, your court dates for Tucson City Court will be on December 1st at 1:30 with Judge Millian. And if you fail to appear, a warrant can issue for your arrest. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, I do, Judge.
All right, that's all for today.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Rita Marie Salazar.
Okay. You. All right, you're charged with aggravated assault on a corrections officer. And I guess you're already being held on something.
Yes, Your Honor, she has a $3,000 bond in a separate felony case.
Okay, thank you. Anyway, I'm going to order that you not initiate contact with the alleged victim. The state is asking for a $10,000 bond with pretrial services supervision if posted. We'll hear from the defense.
Your Honor, Ms. Salazar is already in custody on a $3,000 bond that she cannot post. And the purpose of the bond being to hold her in custody, I think $10,000 is overkill here. I'm recommending $1,000.
See. State have any?
No, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Okay, 1500. Next court date is November 7th at 1:30, and the public defender is appointed. Don't have, well, I already said, don't initiate contact, no alcohol or illegal drugs, no firearms or other weapons. Okay, you're excused.
Uh,
Hello, what's your name?
Jose Ayala.
Okay. Let's see what we've got here. Where's the interim complaint?
This is a direct indictment, Your Honor. I don't think there's a separate complaint for this.
Does the jail have a copy of the warrant?
The jail is indicating they do have a copy of the warrant. Yes, Your Honor.
Well, can they send it to us? The AMA?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. While you're doing that, can we see the next person and we'll come back to this gentleman?
Yes, Your Honor.
I can wait.
Hello, what's your name?
My name's Sean Goff.
Mr. Goff, you have an arrest warrant out of the Welton Justice Court. This is on I think this is on a failure to pay $674.80 bond. And your next court date is November 10th at 10 a.m. You're excused.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Hello, what's your name?
Hello. Armando Montaño. How you doing, sir?
All right, Tucson City Court, you were charged with a shoplifting. This was this was last December, and you failed to appear in court.
Yes, sir.
You made your arraignment session,
Yes, sir, I did.
and then you failed to appear for your pretrial conference, which was back in February of this year. And then you missed another date in September of this year. And we also have a new charge of possession of drug paraphernalia. So you missed court. Why did you not come to your court dates?
Sir, I was in the process of helping my mother move at the time, and then I had lost all my I guess they sent my the mail to the old address, and it just got hectic around that time, and
Do you have
um
access to a computer?
now I do. Yes, sir.
Do you have access to a smartphone?
Yes, sir.
Did you have then?
Excuse me.
Did you have access then when you missed these court dates?
I had access to a phone, sir.
Okay, then you could have contacted the court and asked for a reset of your court date. That's very
I
simple.
take I take responsibility. You're right, sir.
All right. All right, I'm gonna give you another chance. I'm not gonna hold you on a bond. So we'll set a court date for November 26th,
Okay.
9 a.m. And oops, place. It's not good. 6. Yeah, this is Judge Hale. Don't go back to the incident location. No contact with the alleged victim.
Okay.
So that city court, you have a new charge in Pima County Justice Court. This is a possession of drug paraphernalia and a shoplifting. Don't go back to that location either. No alcohol or illegal drugs,
Okay.
and no contact with victim.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm going to release you with a court date of November 7th, and that will be at 8:30 in the morning. Pima County Justice Court. These courts are both downtown. They are two different courts, though. Two different dates be at each one. You're
Yes, sir, I will.
excused.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, just hold on a moment. Okay, there you go. Then and I'm sorry, you were. I'm sorry. Uh-huh. Oh, sure. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. All right. After this person, we can see Mr. Ayala again. What's your name?
Dallas Tyler.
I'm sorry, your last name again is what now?
Tyler.
Okay, got it. You've got cases in two different courts. Tucson City Court, you were cited for park violation back in February. You failed to appear on that matter. And you were cited for trespassing, and you failed to appear on that matter as well. And then you've got a warrant out of Pima County Justice Court, shoplifting, obedience to officer, and trespassing. And these are all from this year. Do you want to tell me why you didn't come to court?
Sir, the reason why I didn't come to court is because I'll be honest, I am bad at keeping appointments. I don't have any access to a phone, or I'm bad at keeping track of the date.
Mhm. You got paperwork from each of these courts?
I don't, sir.
Let's see. Well, you don't seem to be a very good candidate for release. Although I don't really want to hold you on this. I'm going to. So with Tucson City Court, bond is set in the amount of $100. City public defender is appointed. And your video review is November 7th at 1:45. Don't go back to the locations and don't have contact with alleged victims.
So am I getting released today, sir?
If you post $100, you will. If you don't post it, you won't.
Okay.
All right. You will have an attorney though, city public defender. And then on your other matter from justice court, I am going to release you on that with a court date of November 7th at 8:30. Obviously, if you're still in custody, that'll be changed. All right, you're excused. Oh, wait, let me make sure I signed this. Yes, I did. Okay. Sure. Here's your rubber band. There you go. Okay, Mr. Ayala, you have an arrest warrant out of Pima County Superior Court listing charges of possession of a narcotic drug for sale, possession of a deadly weapon by a prohibited possessor, possession of a deadly weapon during the commission of a felony drug offense, possession of drug paraphernalia. The warrant 10,000. The state is recommending 7,500 with pretrial services supervision if posted. And if I'm
You're
right, you have a probation hold.
begging your pardon, Your Honor. The state must have missed a page on that because I didn't see 10,000.
Well, Jose,
So the state modified.
yeah, it's on here.
Okay. Well, the state would amend its recommendation to reflect the bond amount.
Okay. We'll hear from the defense.
Your Honor, I'm asking you to completely ignore that bond amount. It is not clear to me at all why a bond was issued in this matter, or pardon me, why a warrant was issued in this matter in the first place. Since Mr. Ayala was in custody here at the jail at the moment that warrant was issued, and the county attorney's office knew it because he's in custody with a no bond hold in a case they're prosecuting. So I'm asking you to completely disregard that. I'm recommending a $1,500 bond. I don't know what the state's recommendation was going to be tonight, but certainly with a no bond hold in the other matter, it doesn't make sense to have an excessive bond in this matter. And I would also point out that when he was originally arrested on this matter, the bond was set at $2,500, not $10,000. So again, it's not clear to me why suddenly a $10,000 bond is warranted, but not even clear to me why a warrant was issued. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. We'll hear the state's response.
Your Honor, the state submits on the written record otherwise.
Was Mr. Ayala in custody on October 24th?
He was.
No, I'm asking the state.
Oh, I understand.
It would appear so, Your Honor.
Hmm. Bond is set in the amount of 500. Next court date, November 4th at 1:30, and the public defender is appointed. No alcohol or drugs, no firearms or other weapons. You're excused. Then it's released. Okay. Sure. Hello, what's your name?
Hello, Dylan Brown.
Okay. Spell your last name.
Brown.
Spell
I'll
it.
spell it. Brown.
Not you with it. Just be this one. Yeah. All right, you are charged with domestic violence, disorderly conduct. I'm going to order that you not commit any acts of domestic violence. I am going to release you with that condition of your release. Tucson City Court, December 2nd at 1:30. Let's make sure that is correct. Yes. December 2nd at 1:30, Tucson City Court. Be there. You're excused.
Thank you.
Hello, what's your name?
Oh, Your Honor, my name is Troy Eberhardt.
Okay. You are charged, sir, with 2 counts of unlawful imprisonment. I am ordering that you not commit any acts of domestic violence. You're not to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. No firearms or other weapons. Do not have contact of any kind with Yvonne Antomin or here, let's do it this way. Or her minor daughter.
Yes, Your Honor.
Bond is set in the amount of $2,500. The city public defender is appointed to represent you. Video review is scheduled for November 5th at 1:30. If you bond out, it will still be that same date and same time at Tucson City Court, but with you there in person rather than on video. You're excused. Hello, what is your name?
Hello, my name is Gabriel Enriquez.
Okay. Mr. Enriquez, let's see here. You have a pending case in Tucson City Court, domestic violence, that you've already been seen on. Part of that case, you were ordered not to have contact of any kind with Maricela Loya. And tonight, you are being seen on another case. You were cited September 26th, domestic violence, contempt of court, and domestic violence, disorderly conduct. September 26th.
I have a question, Your Honor.
No questions, sir.
Oh, okay, no worries.
Anyway, I guess the charges tonight also involve Ms. Loya. So again, no contact with her. Don't go to her home and workplace. Don't possess any firearms or other weapons. No alcohol or illegal drugs, and don't commit any acts of domestic violence. Bond is set in the amount of $1,500. If you are still in custody, November 5th, 1:30, you'll be seen on video. If you post the bond, same court date and time, be there in person. I am appointing the city public defender to represent you. These are in Tucson City Court. You have any questions, you talk to your lawyer and ask him or her your questions. Okay, you're excused. What is your name? What's your name?
Good evening, Your Honor. Armani Rogers.
Okay, Rogers.
Yes.
Okay. You are charged with domestic violence, assault with injury, and domestic violence disorderly conduct. This is from today. You were previously charged with domestic violence assault with intent or knowingly causing injury and domestic violence disorderly conduct. And this was back on May 12th of this year. And part of your conditions of release on that older case were that you not commit any acts of domestic violence.
Yes, Your Honor.
So this is going to be similar conditions. I'm going to add that you not to return to the residence of LaDonna Singleton.
Okay. Yes, Your Honor.
She does not object to contact per se, but she doesn't want you at her home. So don't return there. I am going to release you. Your court date at Tucson City Court is November 19th at 9:30. You come back
Okay.
with a third TV offense, you're probably not going home. Okay?
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're excused.
Thank you.
Hello, what's your name?
My name is Elisha Edwards.
Mr. Edwards, you're charged with sale of a narcotic drug, money laundering, use of a wireless communication device. And the state recommending a $25,000 bond with pretrial services supervision. We'll hear from the defense.
Your Honor, I just point out that the pretrial services report has him at a level 2, and that this is an offense from September of this year. So there's been some delay in charging this. It's not clear what the delay is, but certainly Mr. Edwards doesn't have any additional charges appearing before you from an immediate arrest. It's only this older charge. So I'm asking you to set the bond at a much lower level. I'm asking for $2,500.
All right, we'll hear from the state.
Your Honor, the volume of substances involved here and the multiple charges speak to the need for a much higher bond.
No alcohol or illegal drugs. Don't go back to the location of the alleged incident. And we'll set bond in the amount of 15,000. The legal defender is appointed. And your court date is November 7th at 1:30. Pretrial services supervision if the bond is posted. You're excused. Hello, what's your name?
Dylan, younger Fouts.
Okay. Mr. Phelps, you have an arrest warrant out of Pima County Justice Court. You were charged last year in July with shoplifting and trespassing. You failed to appear in court. Warrant was the bond of 500. I will set bond in the amount of $500. Janet Altfuller is appointed as your attorney, and your next court date is tomorrow at 1:00 p.m. on video. You're excused. Hello, what's your name?
Hi, Angelo Miller.
Okay. Mr. Miller, you charged with burglary and the second degree theft. I'm going to order that you have no contact with the alleged victim, stay away from the incident location, no firearms or other weapons, and no alcohol or illegal drugs. The state is recommending a $15,000 bond with pretrial services supervision. We'll hear from the defense.
Your Honor, Mr. Miller is a long-term resident of this community. The pretrial services score is only a 2, and there's no reason to believe that he won't come to court or couldn't come to court if you are intending to release him. For these reasons, I'm asking you to release him to pretrial services supervision, and if that's not appropriate in your opinion, then I'd like a bond set at $1,000.
Thank you. I do not believe it is appropriate given his history. 15,000, November 7th, 1:30, and the public defender's appointed. Contact your assigned probation officer on the first working day following release. You're excused.
Your Honor, this is a Spanish interpreter, but the Spanish interpreter is
Are there any Spanish speakers that can speak?
no, Your Honor.
Okay. You're excused.
Thank you.
Man, what is that?
Disconnecting.
Ortega Marie.
Ortega?
Maria.
I'm talking about your last name.
Ortega.
Okay. Last month, you were cited for trespassing and possession of a shopping cart, and you failed to appear in court. If you're not guilty plea on that. On that same date, you were charged with assault, no injury, disorderly conduct, fighting, and criminal damage. You failed to appear on that matter as well. So why don't you come to court when you're supposed to?
I forgot my court date. Oh.
I'm going to release you on this. You are being held on a felony matter, though, so you're not going to actually be released because of that hold. I'm ordering that you not have contact with any alleged victims, stay away from the incident location. I'm appointing the city public defender to represent you. You're going to have what's called a non-transport review date, and that is December 9th at 9 o'clock. Your public defender will be in court representing you. You will not be transported to that court date, though. Somebody from the public defender's office should be in touch with you before December 9th. You're excused. This is awesome. Something is wrong here. Oh, that's okay. I'll take it. It's city stuff after all. Oh, it's I'm wondering why it's in their folders. Okay.
I'm seated right here in this chair.
Hello, what is your name?
Michaela Plaskunak.
You are charged with driving under the influence. I'm going to order that you not drive without a valid license and that you not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. I am going to release you from custody. Your court date is in Green Valley Justice Court, October 30th at 8:30, with the conditions that I've mentioned, and you'll get paperwork and you're excused. Oh, sorry. Good evening. What's your name? Need to unmute, please. State your name.
Melissa Yvette Figueroa.
Okay. You've got 2 criminal complaints. One listing charges of possession of narcotic drug and drug paraphernalia. And this one is from February 16th of last year. And then you've got another one. This is from today, possession of a dangerous drug, possession of drug paraphernalia, and resisting arrest. The state is recommending concurrent bond 2,500. We'll hear from the defense.
Your Honor, Ms. Figueroa is steps eligible on these cases. And in fact, the earlier of the two cases, it's not clear why it's taken so long to charge it, but the earlier charge, she's actually mandatory probation under Prop 200. The case, the very old case and the new case, though, both involve possession of simple amounts of possession of personal use amounts of narcotics and dangerous drugs. And for that reason, I believe she should be released to pretrial services and given a steps date.
All right, thank you. And we'll hear from the state.
Your Honor, on the 2024 case, it's likely that she was admitted to the hospital, and then because of HIPAA, the hospital did not advise when she was released. So the state still believes that with two separate cases, a $2,500 bond is entirely appropriate.
Okay.
It's still steps eligible on both cases.
Is that steps on both cases?
Be eligible for steps on both cases. She has no prior felonies, no indication of any factors that would make her ineligible for steps.
No, my question has to do with both cases or just one case.
Not likely.
I do have a job right now, sir. I do not want to lose this job that I have. It's very important to me right now.
Okay, we'll hear from state. Have anything else?
That's it, Your Honor.
All right, no alcohol or illegal drugs, no firearms or other weapons, don't return to the incident locations.
Turn your head off. Good shot. Both male and female. Turn your head.
I'm going to read a statement to you followed up by a question. So answer the question and then there's a part here that I need to explain a little bit additional to you. You may be eligible to participate in a diversion program called STEPS that requires you to participate in a plan specific to your needs for a short time. If you choose to participate and complete the program, these felony drug accusations in your arrest report will be permanently dismissed without you ever being formally charged. Are you interested in getting released from jail custody now and learning more about the STEPS program at your next hearing? That is not a promise that you are going to be released. That is what I'm reading because it's printed here, but I'm not promising that I am going to release you. Are you interested in the STEPS program?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Okay, your STEPS court date is November 4th at 9 o'clock. The public defender is appointed to represent you. Preliminary hearing waive time. Well, no, because I'm holding you on a $500 bond. So that court date, preliminary hearing is November 7th. at 1:30. And the public defender is at 2. And on the other case, it'll be the same conditions, same dates, November. Same date for step, same date for the prelim, same conditions. And bonds are concurrent. Public defender appointed. All right, you're excused.
See what the Pima's up here. Thank you.
Hello, what's your name?
Brian Gorish?
You're charged with domestic violence, aggravated harassment. I'm going to order that you not commit any acts of domestic violence, no contact of any kind with Maria Kloss, stay away from her home and workplace, do not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and no firearms or other weapons. The state's recommending a $10,000 bond with pretrial services supervision. And let me check something right quick. We'll hear from the defense.
Your Honor, I'm asking you to release Mr. Gorish to pretrial services supervision. Several factors here. First of all, the victim, Mr. Gorish, already do not live together. He has a separate residence. And so the offense that's being complained against him in this matter purely involves text messages and phone calls. It does not involve any personal contact or any intimation of violence between the two of them. Simply unwanted contact by phone and by text. Mr. Gorish has full-time employment. He has no prior felonies. Pretrial services report puts him at a level 1. And for those reasons, Your Honor, despite the victim's objection, I think he should be released to pretrial services with the court's admonishment to have no contact with her and to be allowed to be out of custody and to pursue some treatment that he's looking at. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. We'll hear from the state.
Your Honor, we're already looking at a situation where the defendant's conduct was such that the victim sought and was given a order of protection that the defendant either challenged and lost or opted not to challenge. Plus, we have several actually concerning factors. One, constantly demanding that he see her. So this speaks to possible escalation. And then we're looking at the defendant apparently admitting to police that he's using apps on his phone to spoof his number, thereby trying to get around the fact that she likely blocked him. And it sounds like he's trying to extort her by keeping some of her items to drop the OP. For all those reasons, the bond suggested by the state is entirely appropriate. Thank you.
10,000, November 7th, 1:30, public defender. And the other conditions I've mentioned. You're excused, sir.
Look,
What's that? I have no idea. I don't. And I'm sorry, what's the name again? Here, let me look at it. Okay. Concurrent bonds. And I've unchecked release to pretrial services. And I'll check release to pretrial services if bond is posted. Close. Anyway, back to this. Hello, your name?
Benny Martinez.
Okay, one moment. All right, sir, you got a felony complaint. You've got an arrest warrant out of Green Valley Justice Court and warrants out of Tucson City Court. The felony charges are burglary in the 3rd degree, which will order no contact with the alleged victim, stay away from the incident location, no alcohol or drugs, and no firearms or other weapons. The state's recommending a $7,500 bond with pretrial services supervision if the bond is posted. We'll hear from the defense.
Your Honor, I'm asking for release to pretrial services. If you don't believe that's appropriate, I'm asking for a bond of $1,000. Mr. Martinez is a long-term resident of this community, and this was not a crime involving direct contact with a person. This was a property crime purely, and certainly Mr. Martinez being homeless and having certain drug and substance abuse problems, he needs treatment, and he can start that treatment under the supervision of pretrial services. Thank you, Judge.
We'll hear from the state.
Your Honor?
Yes.
Your Honor, this man has been in and out of prison since 1987. To say he's a part of the community is stretching it, to say the least. Plus, we have epic history of failure to appear, probation violation, parole absconsion. This person is the very definition of a flight risk, and he was allegedly caught breaking into interstate rail cars to steal from them. $7,500 is the minimum appropriate amount here.
All right, thank you. Bond is set in the amount of 5,000. Public defender appointed, November 7th, 1:30. The Green Valley warrant lists charges of drug paraphernalia and driving on a suspended license. I'll note the felony hold. I'm going to release him on this misdemeanor case. October 30th at 8:30 is the court date. Assuming he's still in custody, that'll probably change. Tucson City Court. Today, you were arrested for prescription-only drug violation and drug paraphernalia. And September 12th of 2024, you were charged with trespassing and you never did appear on that charge. We'll note the felony hold. Don't return to the incident location. No contact with alleged victims. Not guilty on both cases. Not guilty plea on both cases. No alcohol or illegal drugs. I am releasing you on the Tucson City Court cases. I am appointing the city public defender to represent you. And we're going to set a non-transport review date at City Court. That will be December 9th, 9 o'clock. The city public defender will be present representing you. You will not be transported to that court date. However, someone from the city public defender should be out there to see you before your court date. And I believe that covers everything. You're excused.
Thank you.
Hello, what is your name?
San Nicolas Solale the third.
Okay. You're charged with possession of a narcotic drug. State's recommending 2,500 plus pretrial services supervision and steps. Let me read this statement to you about steps. You may be eligible to participate in a diversion program called STEPS that requires you to participate in a plan specific to your needs for a short time. If you choose to participate and complete the program, these felony drug accusations in your arrest report will be permanently dismissed without you ever being formally charged. This next statement is not a promise that you're going to be released from custody, but it's written, are you interested in getting released from jail custody now and learning more about the STEPS program at your next hearing? Yes or no?
Yeah.
The state's actually recommending a $2,500 bond with pretrial services supervision. We'll hear from defense counsel.
Your Honor, this case is possession of a personal use quantity of drugs. And so I believe it's absolutely appropriate for steps and appropriate for release to pretrial services at this point. So I'm asking you to do that. And I would just point out that he's a long-term resident of this community. There's no reason to believe that he would be a flight risk. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. We'll hear from the state.
Your Honor, given this defendant's history of that failure to appear and parole and probation violations, state thinks it's entirely appropriate.
Thank you. Your step date is November 4th at 9 o'clock. I'm setting a bond in the amount of $500. November 7th, 1:30 prelim, and the public defender is appointed to represent you. No alcohol or drugs, no firearms or other weapons. Don't go back to the location. You're excused. Hello, what's your name?
Good evening, Your Honor. First name's Elijah. Middle name David, last name Shasanya.
You're charged with stalking. We're going to order that you not have contact with the alleged victims, stay away from the Park Place Mall and any other incident location. No contact with the alleged victims, no alcohol or drugs, no firearms or other weapons. The state is recommending a bond of $7,500 plus pretrial services supervision if posted. We'll hear from the defense.
Your Honor, as I read the complaint, it's obvious that this is not a traditional case of stalking. It's being amplified to a case of stalking because there appear to have been two separate incidents separated by some very, very short period of time. But it's obvious from this complaint that they did not know him and he did not know them. It was a case of mistaken identity. And they were alarmed by him, but the fact that they were alarmed by him certainly doesn't mean that he was trying intentionally to stalk them or to make them alarmed. And in this sort of situation, not being a traditional stalking case, I think we have to look at the release conditions a little bit differently as well. He has a home in this community. He has a wife in this community. He's lived here for a long time at this point. He is on the pretrial services report. He is a level 1, no history of any kind that would amplify that. I'm asking you to release him to pretrial services supervision. Thank you, Judge.
We'll hear from the state.
Your Honor, looking at ARS 132923, there is a course of conduct. It would appear the defendant knowingly engaged in it, directed towards the 2 victims here, and the victims clearly expressed that they suffered emotional distress or reasonably feared injury. The state stands by the recommendation.
$7,500, November 7th, 1:30, public defender appointed. And that's all on this matter. Are we seeing Israel Salazar? Actually, I don't have a file.
I don't see them listed on the calendar for tonight either, Your Honor.
Tomorrow? Okay, all right. It'll be seen tomorrow then. Was there a reason for that? Did he refuse or what? Oh, okay. Okay, tomorrow 9 o'clock. All right. Thank you, everyone. You're excused. Good night.